The final push for the playoff rush is here. We'll take a look at the league-leading team as well as another club putting itself in the record book. Plus, great highlights and amazing accomplishments. Lace up your boots or your booties. It's time for ECHL Week. Hi, and welcome to ECHL Week. It's crunch time for the teams chasing Kelly Cup playoff spots, and all four of the divisions have legitimate postseason races as the regular season heads through its final month. In the North, Fort Wayne and Toledo are close to locking up playoff spots, so that leaves Cincinnati, Kalamazoo, Indy, and Wheeling to battle for the two remaining positions. In the East, the odds favor Reading, Florida, and South Carolina making the postseason party, but teams on the outside right now, Elmira and Orlando, are certainly within striking distance of Greenville for the final playoff position. In the Central, it's hard to imagine league leader Allen falling out of a playoff spot. More about the Americans later in the show. But either Quad City, Tulsa, Wichita, or Rapid City are going to be disappointed because there is only room for three of those teams in the playoffs. Barring a late run from Ontario, the Pacific Division title should go to Idaho or Colorado. For the fourth playoff spot, Utah is trying to hold off hard-charging Alaska, while Bakersfield has lots of work to do to keep its postseason hopes alive. Let's hear what some folks around the league think about the race for the playoffs.
Well, every point is critical. You look at our division and the standings are so tight. It's a dogfight, and there's going to be some great teams from our division that don't get in. So you've got to control your emotions in terms of being mentally strong, because there's going to be ebbs and flows in a hockey game. And from game to game, you're going to play good games where you're not successful, and you've got to find a way to get points. And we've got a tough schedule down the stretch, but we're playing good hockey.
Obviously, it's exciting to watch the standings every night, but for us, it's getting a little tighter, and we're in a position we don't really want to be in right now. So every night's a playoff game for us, with the standings in our division being so tight, and having so many good teams in our division. It's you can't take a night off.
Obviously, it's stressful. You're watching the standings all the time, and you're always hoping to get a little help. But at the end of the day, you got to take care of your own business. But with 20 games left in the season, if you're in a race like this, it's certainly a lot better than being out of the race. So, we're excited. We've had a few stumbles up and down the season getting adjusted to the ECHL, but the last 20, 25 games the boys have been playing outstanding, and there's so much parity within our division that every night's a battle, and it's a physical division. We know that there's a lot of lingering no love lost amongst the hockey clubs here, but we're just we're very proud of number one to be in the ECHL, making the jump, and just how hard our guys are working. You got to give them kudos, and every night the fans are getting treated to some very good hockey.
From watching video to what other teams are going, we've got games in hand on teams that we're chasing, and it's the good thing is that the next 8 out of our next 10 are against teams that are right above us. So if we put a stretch together here, it'll put us right back in the playoff run where we want to be. Allen's had a very successful season, so obviously they're not a team that we're chasing. But when you look at Tulsa and Quad City and Rapid City, they're teams right there that we play a lot coming down the stretch. So we got to win some hockey games.
We're getting really into crunch time here. Second half of the season, you get a lot of call-ups. Injuries happen, so you just we have a lot of great parts of this team. We have a lot of depth, so we can move guys around and still be competitive each night. So, we're pretty fortunate with the group of guys we have.
Our division's the toughest division in the league. We have the strongest teams in the league, and it's going to be a battle, all 7 of us, all the way to the end. So we can't take a night off. We got to make sure we keep that even keel, and we're prepared to compete on a shift-by-shift basis. I think that's the biggest thing, is getting into that playoff mode earlier.
It's a fun time of year. It's playoff hockey for us. We're playing desperate hockey, and I believe we're 11-4-1 in the second half of the season. So every point's crucial, and it's just a fun time of year.
We have our big goals and we have our little goals, and we're coming in this weekend and we want to get 4 points. But in the broader range, we know that we need to be at a certain point to get into playoffs, and that's kind of in the back of our mind. But I think it's a pretty good analogy for a telescope. You're looking at the long-term goals, but at the same time, you're looking short-term, because you know that those build up into the bigger ones.
So there's a serious race going on in the Pacific Division. Colorado is dueling with both Idaho and Ontario for the top spot. Bakersfield needs to catch both Utah and Alaska to make the postseason, Put on your seatbelt as we check out this Battle of the Birds. Kevin McGlue describes the action on 107.9 The Bear.
There comes Colorado, chance at a 2-on-1 diving effort to trying to move it in by Nixon, but that one just rolled away from him. Back the other direction. Sylvestre run hard into the wall. Boy, Nemec may have gotten away with one in front. Quick shot by Block. He scores as it goes underneath that outstretched right leg pad of Aaron Crandall. Sylvestre will get it now and bring it right back into the zone for the Condors. In the high slot, 14 left to the power play. Sylvestre winds, fakes it, tips it over wide side, back for Pajot, snapshot, scores. And Colorado down 2-0, 5:38 left to the first period, a power play goal. Puts the Eagles in that 2-0 deficit. Nick Pajot with his 6th goal of the season. Nemec throwing the body around. Nixon back on the ice, Block with it, swings it over, right point for Pajot. Again across the blue line, Block. Takes the shot, high slot, Pajot fires, scores. And another goal for the Condors. It's 3-0 Bakersfield. Jordan Claus gonna throw down with Josh Curry. Right in center ice. Curry lands a right, now another right by Curry. Claus answers with a right of his own. Good right there by Curry. Good right again by Claus. Now answers with 3 more rights. And now Curry a right of his own. And that will lead to the linesman pulling them both apart. Eagles win the face-off in the offensive zone, but it splits Bidwell and Zimmerman at the point. Colorado will retrieve it. Stolen away. Gardner shot. Scores! Colorado back within one. Greg Gardner's 11th goal of the season. Rolls back into that Eagles zone. Vitaly Pavlovs, who's back playing defensively with the continued absence of Curtis Gennig. Trumpet free. Swatted back. Curry centering feed shot. Scores. Puck loose in front of that Condors bench. Grab by Davatilla. Pirouettes away from traffic. Pavlov's with it. High slot. Fires. Sends it screaming high. Deflected. Rolls loose. Grab in front. Shot. Scores! Trent Davatilla laces it home. And Colorado back within 2. Stick handles down the half wall. Jumps up into the air off the hands of Duzinski. Goes up left point. Zahn thinking about the shot. He'll drift over. Fire. Save. Rebound. Scores! Jordan Claus makes it home. Drop it off again for Zahn. Shakes free. 3 minutes left here in the third. Eagles down by just 1. It's 5-4 Bakersfield. Knowlton brings it in down the left wing wall. Cuts in down low. Looking for a shot. Fires. Scores! Chris Knowlton ties it at 5. 2:53 left in the third. Eagles win it. Move. Trying to shovel it in front. Runs free. Grabbed by Nemec across the blue line. Pavlovs fires. Tip. Scores! 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 Eagles win in overtime. 4 unanswered goals. 2 points for Colorado. Colorado overcomes a tenacious effort from the Bakersfield Condors. Eagles rally and still 4 unanswered.
One of the teams to join the ECHL next season will be based in Glens Falls, New York. And since the franchise is being transferred from Stockton, California, it makes sense that the name is coming along. The Adirondack Thunder, ECHL affiliate of the Calgary Flames, will play in the Glens Falls Civic Center next season in the East Division of the Eastern Conference with Elmira, Manchester, Norfolk, and Reading. A look at a lengthy winning streak is straight ahead on ECHL Week.
Are you paying too much with your current payroll company? Are you concerned about how Obamacare could affect your business? If you're interested in a better, more cost-effective solution, Einstein HR is the answer. No more stressing out about Obamacare and the new regulations. No more worrying about being in compliance. No more overpriced payroll services. Let Einstein HR get you back to the business of doing business instead of spending needless hours and frustration taking care of details that add nothing to your bottom line. We provide a first-class payroll and HR services with superior customer service. Call Einstein HR today.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Michael Trebish from the Wichita Thunder, and you're watching ECHL Week.
There were a number of outstanding individual achievements in the league during February, which not only resulted in awards, but deserved special mention. The Player of the Month was Chad Painshaw of Brampton. His month was one for the record books. He recorded 17 goals, including 4 game winners and 3 on the power play, and added 3 assists for 20 points in 11 games. The 28-year-old had 5 multi-goal games, including 4 hat tricks in February. He posted hat tricks in back-to-back games, becoming just the 9th ECHL player in the last 18 seasons to post hat tricks in consecutive contests. He closed the month with hat tricks in 2 of the final 3 games, scoring 8 goals in a 4-game span. The Goalie of the Month award is being shared by 2 South Carolina Stingrays, Jeff Jakaitis and Adam Morrison. Jakaitis, last year's ECHL Goaltender of the Year, went 7-0-0 during February with a 2.14 goals against average and a .922 save percentage. He allowed 2 goals or less in 5 of his 7 appearances and made at least 22 saves in 6 of those games. It's the 5th time in his career that he has won the monthly award, the most in history. Morrison, who's under contract to the NHL's Boston Bruins, appeared in 6 games in February and won them all with 2 shutouts, a 1.17 goals against average, and a save percentage of .953. He allowed 2 goals or less in 5 appearances and posted his shutouts in back-to-back games. There's also a rare double winner this month. South Carolina forward Derek DeBlois is both the Rookie and Plus Performer of the Month for February. The 24-year-old scored 10 goals, added 11 assists, and was a plus 19 in the month as the Stingrays won all 13 games. DeBlois had at least 1 point in 11 of those 13 contests, including 7 multi-point games. He tied the ECHL season high with 4 goals in a 6-3 win against Gwinnett on February 8th, and he recorded 3 assists in a 5-0 victory at Gwinnett on February 14th. He's tied for 9th among ECHL rookies with 37 points in 51 games. He was an even plus, minus, or better in all of his team's games during the month and was a +3 in 3 of them. Speaking of the Stingrays, for the first 3.5 months of the season, South Carolina was doing okay and staying in playoff contention. But since February, they've been doing better than okay. Much better. South Carolina won every game it played in February and has fashioned a 16-game winning streak, the second longest in league history. As a result, instead of clawing for a playoff berth, the Stingrays are making a charge toward the top of the East Division. Of those 16 victories, only 1 came in overtime. And the Rays' solid defensive scheme has really put the hammer down on opponents. They haven't allowed more than 3 goals in any of those 16 games. Earlier this season, we caught up with South Carolina coach Spencer Carberry, and he shared some of his coaching philosophy, which is no doubt a key to his team's recent success.
That's probably the number one thing that I've learned over the last 4 years of being the head down in South Carolina is you control what you can control, and you try to get better every day. And that's all you can do. And player-wise and rosters and GMing, that stuff, we have a saying is you can't make it up. Like, you'll see some things that Ryan Warsofsky, his first year was last year, and he couldn't believe some of the things that happened roster-wise and player movement-wise. But you just take it in stride and you can control what you control. And, I feel like that's the best way to approach it. Otherwise, you're just going to be banging your head against your office wall all day saying, what if, why not, what happened here, how are we going to deal with this situation? It's just nonstop.
It's never scored a goal nor made a save, yet it's on the ice at every game. What is it? We'll find out next on ECHL Week.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. That's about a 30% increase in 2 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Hi, this is Chaz Johnson of the Wheeling Nailers, and you could tweet me at dknight98.
Hi, this is Oliver Chambeau of the Alaska ISOs. You can tweet me on ORG.
The new helmet rule is a player safety issue. We haven't to date had a penalty. I've seen it the other day where a player's helmet lost and he went right to the bench, so it worked perfect. The hybrid icing has worked great. I wasn't a big fan of it 2 years ago, but now I am a big fan of it. You see the races to the puck, the races to the puck. Teams can set up plays if they would like. I really like that rule as far as that. And then we tweaked up a couple other things. Removing your elbow pad before a fight is a minor penalty instead of a game misconduct. But otherwise, you know what? We've been status quo. Well, we had the overtime where we change ends, which is real. It's helped. It makes it exciting. As far as that. I'd still like to go 3-on-3. I think that it's really exciting when we go 3-on-3, and the shootout is what it is anymore. But I think the 3-on-3 would bring a lot more excitement to the game.
There's an important part of every hockey game that every fan sees, but this thing never scores a goal. Still, you couldn't have a hockey game without it. What is it? It's the Zamboni.
The reason we have a Zamboni is because of how hard and aggressive the players skate, it actually destroys the ice. And if we don't resurface every period, they won't have any ice to be skating on.
So it takes off some of the old snow and replaces it with a new layer of water, which
creates ice.
Gets hard and creates ice.
Correct. Yes, it cuts out all the grooves from the player skates, and then it lays a fresh coat of water to create a smooth surface on top of that. The building itself dictates so much about the condition of the ice, and we have to feed off the building between us and the operations crew, keeping the building at a certain temperature, and the humidity is very important. And then we just keep the ice, like I said, this machine's basic function is to keep the ice clean and keep it at a certain thickness.
Sometimes you'll see guys going out at different rinks with some kind of device, kind of taking some kind of measurements. What's that all about, and how does that affect what happens here?
What we're doing is measuring the ice thickness. Obviously, because we have a smaller building and we don't have quite the air HVAC system as the big buildings do, we want to keep the ice as thin as possible to make the ice as hard as possible. And they're taking measurements all over the rink. As you can see on the board over there, we have our thickness readings, and we'll try to keep it maintain that thickness at all times, and that's why they're doing that.
Well, we're going to open these holes up here for the marsh pegs. They're pretty deep. This one here pretty much just gets you all the way down. And that one there will open it wide enough. And we have to keep them open throughout the game because sometimes they freeze shut where we have to run a drill on them depending on how cold the ice is and depending on how many people are here. There's a lot of factors that play into this.
And this is just hot water?
Yep.
Just hot water that's going in there?
Yep, just hot water. It's just enough to melt everything else out of there that they can't get with the drills. Just enough to open it up to the metal peg.
It's amazing the reaction a piece of machinery has with people. We take it for granted, but when we see people sitting in the seat, the reaction, you realize what a piece of machinery can do for a person. As a matter of fact, last year, there was a lady that had stage 4 cancer, and on her bucket list, she wanted to ride the Zamboni. And I found that amazing. It's kind of honoring, actually, in a way.
Do people, what do they say? Do they give you feedback? Do they say this is the coolest thing ever, or they just kind of stare as they go around, or what's the feedback like?
It varies, but most of them have a big smile on their face and they're enjoying themselves. Most of them can't believe how noisy it is on the machine, and I mean, it's believe it or not, the older people have more of a reaction than younger kids do. So most kids are just mesmerized by everything, and all the older people are just wondering what's going on, and it's neat. It really is neat.
From Gwinnett to the NHL, and a look at the ECHL's top team. ECHL Week continues.
Sign up for ECHL TV and watch every ECHL game live online. Follow your favorite teams at home and on the road. With live streaming available on your PC, iPad, and iPhone, you'll never be too far away from the action. Never miss a big goal. Relive your favorite ECHL moments in the video archives. And catch every game from around the league live. If ECHL hockey is on, it's on ECHL.tv.
You guys going to my party on Friday?
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
All right.
What's up, dude?
I'm loving your jacket.
Don't be such a fag.
If you don't mean it, why say it? Words hurt. Think before you speak.
Hi, this is Luke Sutter of the Stockton Thunder, and you're watching ECHL Week.
It's not just ECHL players who get promoted to higher levels. Gwinnett Gladiators president and general manager Steve Chapman has accepted the position of group vice president with the St. Louis Blues of the National Hockey League. Chapman oversaw Gwinnett's business and hockey operations for 12 years. He also served 9 seasons as chairman of the Board of Governors of the ECHL and was a 2-time winner of the league's Executive of the Year award. We talked a bit earlier about the role that South Carolina's been on. Now it's time for some evidence of that hot streak. Here are the Stingrays battling Florida as both teams try to catch Reading in the powerful East Division. Let's pick up the action in the second period. Alex Reed handles the call for us on the Island FM.
Brace will head back to the bench, and he'll be tended to here a little bit, but just slow to gets back in. The bench here is a shot fired. Now we're going to have a little scrap. Wilson going to chuck the knuckles here with Perrier just outside the Everblades blue line. Couple right hands there by Wilson. Wilson coming back with the right. Perrier trying to come back as well. And now these two were exchanging right hands that are kind of missing at the moment. And now they tumble down to the ice. Pitched ahead by Mitch Wall. Wall breaking in. High slot area coming in. Taking a shot. Though actually, no, they'll score left side. Guess who? It's hammered in by the red-hot captain, Jordan Henry. And the Blades take a 1-0 lead here with 10:25 remaining in the first. Well, battle ensuing here. Both teams scrumming for the puck here up on the right wing side. Everybody joining the mix. Puck loose, and now Maffei comes swooping in. He'll skate it ahead back out to center. Maffei with the right wing side, connecting shot, fired, and he'll score. A wrister back the other direction. Put in by DeBlois, who had just come out of the penalty box to join the play. Turnover by the Stingrays. Up top, Haar takes the shot. Save made by Isles. Rebound for DeBlois. Goes back behind the cage. And now Burt will try to work it out and does. Kicks it to a stick. Breaking in right wing side. Here comes Cameron Burt. Tapping on the brakes now. It's got a man in the slot. Mike Little. Shot scores! Wristed it high over the glove and in. And Little makes it 2-1. Now pitched ahead the other way. A chance for Brace. The drive. Scores! Adam Brace blows it by Jakaitis. To the blue line to Maffei. Maffei left wing side now gets an opportunity, directing one towards the net, and that one will score. A fortuitous hop off the back wall, comes back out in front, and the Stingrays bury it right past Isles. It flipped off the back glass, came to the left of the net to the right of Isles, and Devin got a piece of it and trickled it in. And right now the Stingrays with the puck. They got a chance in front. They'll bring it to the net. They'll take the shot and they'll score. Flipped in on the backhand. They flip it by Isles. It just kind of rolled over. And the goal goes to Andrew Rowe. And the Everblades are going to argue it, but it's going to be the Stingrays getting this tally. The right decision was to blow the play down. And here comes Dolan with a chance in front. Dolan takes the shot, and he'll score. With a minute 27 remaining, Dolan comes back. He has scored in back-to-back games. He beat everybody and wristed one right off the tip of the glove of Isles and high into the net. Face-off one, kicked up right side and broken up. Little trying to dribble it towards the front of the net. Puck loose, they bat at it at the horn. It made its way to the crease, and this one is over. The South Carolina Stingrays score 3 unanswered in the third. They pick up the victory here tonight by a 4-3 count, and they've extended their win streak to 13 consecutive games. That is a league high in the
Some folks will say that Allen's league-leading record is a result of playing most of its games against Central Division teams. But regardless of who they play, there's no denying that the Americans are a very good club. With a month left in the season, Allen is close to wrapping up a playoff berth, and it'll be favored to represent the Central in the Western Conference Final. Let's hear what some of the Americans have to say about where the team stands right now and where it's heading.
It's more about we have a lot of guys loaned to the American League, so we're just trying to play the right way. So then when the playoffs do come, we've already settled into that way of play. We know it's going to tighten up defensively, so we're trying to tighten up our game defensively. But yeah, we're just battling the way until hopefully the guys don't come back from the ECHL. But if they do, then that's awesome too.
In the back of my mind, I know it's one game at a time, it's one shift at a time. So you can't look too far ahead, or you start to kind of lose focus on what you're doing. So. It's really just about everyone trying to play their best game every game, and it's part of the game. You win, you lose. Sometimes you can play a really good game and still lose, and you just got to get over that and move on and be ready to play the next game. So you just get your body ready, your mind ready for every game, and just try to win.
When it comes to playoffs, it's extremely important to play good defense. So I think coming in the stretch here, I think our offense will take care of itself, and we've just got to really focus on defense and really stay out of the box. We've had some penalty trouble. Whether they're good calls or not, we can't control that. So I think just stick to our our defensive roles, and our offense and goals and stuff will come.
Something that we pride ourselves on is kind of being a man's game as far as I think maybe we take a little too many penalties in our division, but it makes for an exciting game. A lot of power plays, a lot of fights, a lot of hits. Like I said, it's an exciting division. It's exciting to be in the ECHL, and we're just having fun with it.
Right now, we're trying to get our ducks in a row to get to playoffs, and it's looking pretty good for our division. But we're trying to attack that top spot, and home ice is huge in playoffs. And you take every game as itself. So I think if you kind of get ahead of yourself is when you start losing focus on the end goal.
I think every day we're trying to improve. Playoffs are. Our goal is obviously to win in playoffs, so every day we just use it as a stepping stone. We try to get better each and every day, because it's a tough league to win in, and it takes everyone being on their A game. So I think we've progressed throughout the year so far, but we still have work to do, and we still have to get much better if we hope to have some success in the playoffs.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time as the Kelly Cup playoffs get started. As we wrap up today's ECHL week, we look at one of the best aspects about the ECHL for fans, approachable players. Let's take a few minutes to see some of those interactions between fans and players with an ECHL tradition, the post-game skate.